Hi, Tile at Interfidelity here. Today we're going to talk about a really unusual headphone, the Parrot Zik. Actually in French they say Zik, but it's Z-I-K. This headphone was designed by Philippe Starck, who is a very famous industrial designer and has designed everything from motorcycles to furniture to yachts to homes to all sorts of things. He's quite a well-known and um, uh, broad stroked designer. Anyway, he designed these headphones with a company called Parrot. It's a French company that does a lot of work with Bluetooth devices for cars. This is a Bluetooth headset. It's also a noise canceling headphone, and it has just a really wide variety of features, and we'll get to those in a minute. Physically, it uses a protein leather covering for the headband and protein leather ear pads. These are capsules are a plastic material, but it's a very nice, soft and warm, comfortable feeling matte finish, and has looks like injection molded alloy components on the headband. Headband is adjustable in and out this way, swivels here and here. I found them to be quite comfortable to wear. The ear pads are a little bit small. They're not quite completely around your ear, and the depth of the ear pad is not particularly deep, but I did find them fairly comfortable to wear on my ears. The headband could probably use a little more padding up at the top. I occasionally did get a bit of a hot spot on the top of my head. Nonetheless, they fit quite well and feel quite comfortable when they're on my head. They have sensors in the ear pads. You can see these two little squares right here. One of them is what they call a bone conduction microphone, which is a little misleading, I think, because it's really not doing bone conduction as much as it is conduction from the skin on your face. It doesn't touch where a bone conduction mic would normally touch, which would be right on the cheekbone. And the other sensor on there is a vibration sensor. The vibration sensor is there to tell the headphones when they're being worn. Your skin is always exhibiting some small vibrations from movement and blood flow and whatnot. And while you're wearing them, like this, the sensor will detect that they're on your head. And then when you take them off, it will detect that there's no more vibrations, and it will pause the music. In all of the Zik's marketing material, it shows people taking them off and putting them around your neck, but as you can see, my chin touches the ear pad a little bit, and they wouldn't pause for me in this mode, but they did reliably pause when I put them down on a table. So to pause them, you can just simply take them off your head. I suppose thinner people would be able to do it, but it did reliably work when I took them completely off my head and put them on the table. The right earpiece has a touch-sensitive panel, and when you swipe it up and down, the volume raises and lowers. This is controlling the volume inside the headphone, so the volume control on your portable device is separate from the volume control here. So I suggest if you use these that you turn your portable device volume all the way up and then adjust the volume from the earpiece itself. Swiping forward sets the track forward, and swiping back gets you to the beginning of a track. Swiping it back twice will go to the previous track. When the music is playing, if you tap it once, it will pause, and then if you tap it again, it will start the music again. When the cell phone receives a call, the music will mute. You will hear a little beep to indicate that you've got an incoming call, and then if you tap the headset, it will answer the phone, and if you tap and hold the headset, it will reject the phone call and go back to the music. I found these controls to be fairly reliable. There were some applications that I ran, for example, my MOG player where swiping it forward and back did not advance the tracks. But for the most part, with most applications, it did work. For example, with Netflix, it would pause the movie if I took the headphones off or if I tapped it once. So that worked fairly well. There are a number of other features to these headphones. I should point out that there are two microphones on the bottoms of the headphones. Well, actually, I think they may be in here too. I'm not really sure where they are, but if you go to the article, these are complicated headphones, and you really should, if you're watching this on YouTube, click on the link on the bottom of the video to go to the article, because there's going to be a lot that I really can't manage to cover in the video. Nonetheless, there are two microphones externally and then two microphones internally, which are used for the noise canceling function. And I found that the noise canceling on these headphones did work quite well. I would say close to, or fairly close to as well, as the Bose Quiet Comfort 15, which is the best noise canceling I've heard. So that's quite a good result. The Parrot Zik is really controlled by an application on your iPhone or on an Android phone. You have to use either an iPhone or an Android phone to use these controls. Let's see if I can make sure you can see that. These are the major controls for the device. You can turn the noise canceller on and off by touching these buttons. And it also has a concert hall effect, and on this concert hall effect, it synthesizes the sound that you would hear in a room, and so you can adjust the size of the room, which is using these buttons here. Goes from a silent room, living room, jazz club, and concert hall. I preferred the silent room or the living room setting. The jazz club was a little bit too colored, and the concert hall added a lot of reverb in. You can also adjust the width of the speakers, and when I listen to a lot of old jazz recordings that have the horns panned all the way into one speaker and the bass all the way into another speaker, this application did a great job of reducing the listening stress from having such a strong different signal between ears. It also has an equalizer, so you can adjust the equalization of the headphone, and you can check the battery level of the headphone. You can check the software versions of this headphone. It is upgradable, so you can, as revisions of the software come along, you can upgrade both the firmware in the headphones and the application software in the portable device. If you want to listen to a laptop with it that is Bluetooth enabled, you can do so, but there is no app for the laptop, so you can't control the headphones. As best I can tell, they do retain the last settings from the handheld device, so if you set them with the noise canceling on and the concert hall effect to a certain position, as far as I can tell, it remembers them reliably. You can go around. There's kind of a workaround there. If you leave them paired to the phone, but use the cable that comes with it, then you can attach the headphones by the cable to the computer, but leave the headphones paired to the phone and control the app from the phone, but hear the music that's coming from the computer. These headphones will work off the cable when the battery is dead, but they don't sound nearly as good in this passive mode. They sound much better when it's turned on. In terms of sound quality, as I said, when it's on the cable and in passive mode and the electronics is turned off, I thought they sounded quite poor and they measured quite poorly. There's a very large suck out in the upper mids and lower treble, but when the headphones were activated and turned on the wire or wirelessly, they sounded much better. It's quite obvious that there's a they did verify that there's a digital signal processor in there, and that there is a basic compensation curve for the headphones. As soon as you turn them on, they will compensate for the sound when driven passively. The sound quality on balance is quite good. I really enjoyed listening to them. I thought that they were very, very pleasant to listen to. However, the treble sounds kind of papery. That's not to say grainy or shrill. It's just that it's sort of dry and it's hard to describe. Dry and a little crunchy or something, but not harsh and not strident. On balance, the tonality of the headphones was quite good, I felt. As I said, the noise canceling is very good, and the sound when in noise canceling mode did have a little bit of sort of a cupped hand sound to it when you turned it on. And I think it's because there's quite a substantial acoustic change when you start adding feedback, acoustical feedback from within the chambers and from the outside, trying to cancel the noise. But when I was listening to the music in with brown noise being played on my speakers at an 80 dB SPL level, which is about what you'd get in the cabin of an airliner, I thought the sound was quite good and quite listenable, and quite a lot of the external noise was muted. So on balance, I would say they're a much more, I shouldn't say much, it is a markedly more pleasurable listening experience than with the Bose Quiet Comfort 15s, although the Quiet Comfort 15s probably do provide a little more isolation. All in all, I think these are probably the best Bluetooth headphone I've heard in terms of sound quality. I did compare them with the Ultimate Ears, Logitech Ultimate Ears UE 9000, which had significantly more of a bass hump than these did, though the treble was a little bit more refined. In general, even though the treble on this was a little artificial sounding, I did think that this was a better listening experience than the UE 9000. Certainly better than the PXC 450 that I also have up on the Wall of Fame. So this is really a terrific noise canceling headphone. Yes, they're a bit buggy. Yes, they're a little bit artificial sounding, but oh my goodness, what a terrific looking headphone, and what an inordinately complex headphone to still in the end find itself come together as a cohesive whole and a very pleasant experience all around. So I highly recommend these. They're $499, I believe, which is $100 more expensive than the UE 9000, but it seems to be worth it easily, and less expensive than some of the more expensive Sennheiser and AKG Bluetooth wireless noise canceling headphones. So I think the Philippe Stark and the guys at Parrot have done really a fabulous job in stepping out into a rather unknown arena in terms of complex and really technologically filled headphones. So great job. So I hope you have a chance to get a listen to one of these one day, and I certainly recommend them if it looks like something you might like to buy. And we'll see you next time.